Is Tyson Fury's power underrated? There's been this thing pretty much before Tyson Fury got with the Kronk Gym. He's been known as pillow fisted. He's been called that by Wilder. He's been called that quite a bit. And, the boxing world kind of views Tyson Fury as like pretty much just a boxer, pure boxer. He has to me, he has amazing movement for a heavyweight, great reflexes, almost Floyd Mayweather like to me, the way his head movement and, for such a big dude, just giving credit where it's due. But the power, a lot of people have frowned upon his power. And, this power thing, it's always fascinating to me. I touched on it a few times on this channel, but I like to get into it from time to time because it's a very interesting topic. Because power, man, what is power? You got to look at power in like different ways. I guess you can look at it as the delivery, how you give the power, but I think ultimately at the end, that same power, rather you deliver it one way or another, it's going to touch. It's all about the way it touches the person that is landing on. Rather it's accumulative power, or it's like that thudding power, or the fast snapping power, or the one punch KO power, whatever you want to call it. It's power, man. But Tyson Fury, is his power underrated? I mean, if you watch, pretty much most boxers, especially, upper echelon, they all have knockouts on their record. Lots of times their knockouts come early on in their careers where they give them, a lower tier comp to fight to build up their records and to build their confidence and their skill level up, which is normal. A lot of times, though, when they step up in competition, like their KOs kind of slow down or they just disappear altogether. That's with a lot of boxers, even with the boxers with the high KO ratings. You'll find that out when a lot of them start facing high competition. Wilder known for his power. He had, I think, only when one of his fights went the distance. That was what Bervain-Stavern, one of the Bervain-Stavern fights, the first one. I think that went the distance, and that was it. And everything else was just all knockouts, 40 plus knockouts. And then he runs into Tyson Fury, gets a draw, and then loses the next fight. And this is Deontay Wilder we're talking about. This is somebody with destructive power, right? And one punch, he can knock you out with one punch. But he hit Fury, and in the first fight, he got up twice. And he wasn't able to keep Fury down, and Fury gets up and actually wobbles Deontay Wilder after he been knocked down that second time. So, I mean, if you hit somebody and they wobble, man, would you say that person has power, or would you say that they're pillow fisted? My assumption is, my observation of it is that he definitely has some power, man. It may not be the power that we look at it as, like a Wilder type power, but if you let Tyson Fury hit you enough, man, you're gonna drop. The dude with 270-pound dude, 6'9", it's a heavyweight. Most heavyweights, rather you think that they don't have power or not, get in there with them and stand there and see what happens. So, when we're talking about heavyweights, man, we gotta be a little bit more open-minded when it comes to this power thing. I look at it totally different from a lot of other folks might look at it. And then you got Tyson Fury. He's not really known for his power, but then he gets in there with Wilder. I know a lot of people are going to bring up they think he cheated and all this other stuff, but he looked at, same with him. He was able to knock Wilder down a few times. Wasn't able to keep him down, but Wilder wasn't able to keep Fury down either. So, When you gotta ask yourself, you gotta be honest with this shit, man. When Wilder knocked him down, he was able to get back up. Fury knocked Wilder down. Wilder was able to get back up. But people are gonna say that the only reason Fury knocked down Wilder was because Wilder was drugged or something like that. That's the thing that's going around here. So nobody made those excuses when Fury got knocked down. So I'm just keeping it all the way 100, man. But there is no question that with Deontay Wilder, like, he definitely has power, but you can't sneeze at Tyson Fury either with his power. I think he has sneaky power. One of those kind of boxers like that, like the sneaky power that'll catch you when you don't expect it. So yeah, I think his power is probably a bit underrated, man. I think people don't give him the credit. A lot of boxers don't get that credit, man. They wobble people in fights. They might not have that destructive power, but they definitely have power. When you got somebody wobbly and they all over the place. He had Wilder rocked a couple of times in that first fight. I think early on in the early rounds he rocked him. He was wobbled. He wobbled him at the end of the fight. He was wobbling Wilder all over the ring in the second fight, up until the stoppage. So was Tyson Fury, when Wilder was wobbled by Fury in the first fight, was Wilder drugged then? So I don't really like running with that narrative, man. I don't really run with that at all. These, like I said, these are heavyweights. They bring some kind of power, rather it's a George Foreman kind of power, rather it's a Mike Tyson kind of power, rather it's a Deontay Wilder type of power. They bring power. And I think the whole narrative that Tyson Fury is pillow fisted is garbage. I think that's garbage. Just watch him and you'll see, for yourself. I've seen him. He wobbled. He rocked a few people, man. And some of them he got him up out of there. Some he didn't. But nonetheless, they felt that power. And I'm pretty sure I've seen the people when they sparred him, they said he had power, So I don't know, man. I don't understand what people be doing or what they be watching, but I think his power is underrated, man. But let me know what you think. Drop a comment, like and subscribe. I'm gonna catch you dudes on the next one, man. I'm off this.